Just bear with me real quick. No, man. Just trying to find the live stream real quick, man. So just bear with me real quick. All right. I think I found it. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. All right. Peace, much love, honors, and blessings and salutations to the elect. All right. For retaining their integrity, holding the conduct and composure through these wicked times, always abounding in the truth of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Okay. This is Yaakov. And I want to do a recap on a topic, man, that I made like a couple weeks ago. I had put a video up. I think I might have even posted it on my channel, but it was about Esau's blessing, man. All right, and actually the original birthright that he was going to get before he sold it. Now, when you go into, because Esau, you know, we find our information through the internet, right? And you know, Esau wants to claim. He wants to claim. He wants to claim that the knowledge we find on the internet is by him, right? So I wanted to get the word predestinated, all right, which you can find on Google right here, where the word predestinate means to foreordain to an earthly or eternal lot or destiny by divine decree, or to predetermine. Now, there is another definition, all right, and I don't know where it is, but when you it actually adds on to that definition right there, man. It goes into predestination being the predetermination of a saved or not saved, okay, when dealing with a deity or a god, right? And so that's the definition of predestination, all right? So when we read in the scriptures about Jacob and Esau, so the account today is that Jacob stole the birthright from Esau, right? And through that lie, the so-called white man has retained that ancient hate, all right, that he has for Jacob, okay? And, you know, it says right here, actually, I'll go ahead and get it in blue letter, all right, just to prove it. This is Amos, the first chapter. I think the 11th verse. Yeah, Amos 1:11 says, "Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom," which Edom, we're going to see, is the so-called white man. It's talking about Esau, because Esau's name was changed to Edom, which means red. And it says, "For 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever." That wrath that's been kept forever goes back to Genesis 25th chapter, when Esau and Jacob, all right, made a contract. They made what Esau would call today a legally binding contract. It was through words, right? You can actually go to your courts today, and verbal agreements are actually legally binding contracts. That's how do you think that started? Here in the scriptures. So Esau, man, all right, was the firstborn, right? And it said that Jacob was the one that came after, all right. And it got to a point where Esau, it said he was out in the field hunting, right? And it said that Jacob was inside making some food, basically. So I'm going to read that right here, Genesis 25 and 29. And it says, and Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage. So we already know, man, the food wasn't even cooked yet. For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. That also represents like Esau's incapacity to be patient. All right, which having no soundness in your bones means you're not spiritual. Esau is not a spiritual vessel, man. He was not created to be spiritual. Okay, and actually, I'll go ahead and get that in Ezekiel real quick, because this is actually what the so-called white man was created to be. All right. Ezekiel 28 and 14 says, thou art the anointed cherub that covered. So if someone hasn't read the scriptures and they hear the story, the account between Jacob and Esau, and an Edomite comes along, they're going to say, well, no, man, our brother Jacob took our birthright. He stole it. Because it even tells you in the scriptures that Esau tried to lie to his father that Jacob stole his birthright. But we have the proof right here to show you that Esau gave it to him for a bowl of food. And this is a lot of other things, man, because when you go to, let me see, Genesis 25 and 27, it says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. Now, you look up that word cunning, it means to be skillfully deceptive. I've been bringing this out every day in my lessons, man. It's a very important thing to know about Esau, man. Esau was created to be skillfully deceptive. That was his also his blessing, right? To live by the sword. All right. And look at how he's performed and perfected his works, his weaponry. All right. Because he has that knowledge he's got that left-hand side of knowledge. He's skillfully deceptive. So all these lies that you hear about today, man, or the reason why the so-called white man is doing what he's doing to Jacob today, with all these things, the COVID going on. All right. You know, I was watching that show, or not a show. It was a video a brother posted, or an elder posted. And it was of the Nina Turner on the CNN, and she was calling out the racism. And even those Edomites, she was the only Judite woman there calling all the Edomites out. And she was saying that they were having a cavalier attitude. That's really how our people are as well, man. All right. Esau has brainwashed you because you don't do your study through the scriptures, but he's brainwashed you to dismiss and be numb to all evidence and proof about our actual real history. Okay. And that's the work of a deceptive worker, a skillfully deceptive person. That's why Esau, we already know he was the serpent. His spirit, all right, was that man speaking to Adam and Eve, or that spoke to Eve. All right. He was that snake. Snakes are skillfully deceptive. The attributes of a snake makes them skillfully deceptive, because they look calm, right? They look nice. They look cool. I mean, not like that. Like, they look harmless. But man, they kill your ass, man. And they're poisonous. And that bite is strong. And you don't know when it's going to attack. That's Esau, man. It's a so-called white man. Again, this was the attribute that was given to him, to lie. So everything that we read about how, today they try to fit them. Esau tries to fit themselves as the true Jews. All right, tries to teach all these lies that everybody can be saved. That comes from being skillfully deceptive. All right, because he held on to his anger forever, man. All right, and he was anointed to cover. So he's anointed to be a liar. All right. But let's go ahead and read this in Genesis 25 and 30. It says, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. So this is where the deal begins. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? So Esau was basically like, man, this birthright ain't going to profit me right now. I got to wait for my father to pass away. And he said, and Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So people will look at this and be like, okay, cool, the deal was made, this and that. And they'll continue to the next chapter when Jacob was getting a blessing. He put on the wool, the sheep's, or was it goat hair, I believe, where he put it on his arm so he could be hairy like his brother. All right. And he supplanted his father to receive that the first birthright. So what people don't understand, man, all right, what people don't understand is predestination is a real thing. All right. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it this way. It's in Romans, I believe, the 9th chapter, where it talks about how the two neither doing any wrong. Let me see. I could find it quicker this way, my actual sword. But predestination is real, man. Okay, predestination is a real thing, and that's what people need to understand. That whether or not Esau would have gave his birthright away or not, Isaac would have still blessed Esau with the same blessing he has to this very day. He would have known it if Esau would have came and be like, "Oh, it's me, Esau." Yahweh Shai, there's called divine intervention, man. All right, and what people don't get is like at certain what do you call it? At certain events, the Lord did intervene in the course of history, I believe. If that's how you want to say it. All right. We know the Lord controls all things, and to preserve, like He did with Adam and Eve, to preserve the line, to end up eventually making Yasha'Allah. What did He do with Adam and Eve? They were close relatives, and that was before the actual laws. All right, and then He had them stay within that line of my bone and of my flesh. So the point was that the Lord intervened at certain points in time in history to create what we have today as the present. All right, to create so that the promises and covenants that were to be inherited by Jacob were going to be received only among Jacob. Okay, there was no mingling, there was none of it. It was all pure line. So the Lord had to intervene in order to get certain things done. Let me see. Yeah, it's in Rome. Yeah, Romans 9. Yeah, it's in Romans 9. Let me go and get it. This is Romans 9 and 9 and 11. It says, "For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High, according to election, might stand, not of works, but in the cause." See, that proves right there, that the Lord had already chosen the destinies of both these men. Okay, and real quick, let me get this book real quick. All right, this is the who's who in the Bible. All right, big ass book. All right, and when you go to Esau, man. All right, when you go to Esau, so take me a minute. All right, in this book, who's who in the Bible, which I don't even know who it's from, man. I just looked. Reader's Digest, I guess. It says Malachi describes. Let's see. It says, "But Esau had no need of Jacob's wealth and forgave him." Esau's descendants listed in Genesis 36 were the Edomites, who lived just south of Canaan. The prophets use Esau's name to symbolize Edom, how Esau has been pillaged. Obadiah exclaims, "There shall be no survivor to the house of Esau," because Esau's blessing was to live by the sword. The scriptures tell you, he that liveth by the sword must be killed by the sword. All right. It says Malachi describes how Esau's heritage has been left to jackals of the desert. Esau's name appears in the New Testament too. Paul cites Esau in Romans 9 as an example of those not elected by God. All right. Again, it says right there in your who's who in the Bible, Paul cites Esau in Romans 9 as an example of those that are not elected by God. So Esau was not chosen, all right, through the purpose, all right. He was not predestinated to receive the promises and the covenants that the Lord was going to give Jacob, all right. Again, when you go to Google, we tried predestination. Yeah, there you go. It says, as a doctrine of Christian theology, the divine foreordaining of all that will happen, right? Especially with regard to the salvation of some and not others. And we just read right here in Romans the 9th chapter, in the 11th verse, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So they didn't do anything. Esau hadn't done anything wrong before he was born in the womb. So how could he already? How could you say? Because again, it's according to election of what he was chosen to be. The Lord designs. We already know the scriptures tell you, man, that the Lord creates evil and good. So there has to be a good and there has to be a bad. Esau is the bad. Jacob is the good. All right. And it's about, well, actually it says right here, according to the election, the purpose of the Most High, right? So it says, the divine foreordaining of all that will happen, especially with regard to the salvation of some and not others. All right. So Esau was going to receive the blessing that he received regardless. Okay. And I wanted to get another account. Let me see. Jacob blesses, who is that? Ephraim and Manasseh. Because I did use this example as well. Genesis 48. Just bear with me real quick. Okay, so because I want to use this as an example that the Lord had to intervene again, right? Because people think that, yeah, you can move your hands, this and that, but guess what, man? Something's still controlling you. And there's another occasion right here. In fact, hold on, let me just make sure. Hey, Shalom, I will occasionally check this, because, just in case you brothers have comments. So, or whoever has a comment, But going back to this to prove an example, all right. This was the account where Jacob was going to bless Ephraim and Manasseh, which were Joseph's two sons. All right, because Joseph had only two sons. So that's not a nation. All right. Ephraim and Manasseh are the ones who created those nations. So it said in Genesis 48 and 8, it says, and Israel beheld Joseph's son and said, who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, they are my sons, whom the Most High have given me in this place. And he said, bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. Same account with Isaac, right? Isaac was dim of age, his eyes were dim of age, and he couldn't see when he would bless. And that's how Jacob, got the blessing. All right. It said, now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face. And lo, the Most High has shewed me also thy seed. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand, toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand, because Manasseh was the firstborn, just like Jacob and Esau. So what was going to happen was Ephraim and Manasseh were going to get their blessings before Jacob passed away, right? So Manasseh was firstborn, and it was by inheritance property, I'll say. The firstborn always received the first blessing. They received the birthright, the first blessing, all that. All right. So when Joseph was taking their sons, basically you had, Manasseh in his left hand to go to Israel's right. So that way, the right blessing, right? The first blessing. So it said, and Manasseh in his left hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head. So Ephraim was supposed to be going to the left hand. It said he laid out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittily. For Manasseh was the firstborn, see? And he blessed Joseph and said, the Most High, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the power which fed me all my life long unto this day, the angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them in the name of my father Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. Now here's the part. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, because Joseph's understanding was the same as everybody else's when it came to blessings, right? The firstborn received the first blessing, the inherited blessing, right? So it said that it displeased him. This is another case, man, where it wasn't understood that the Lord himself intervened to set up those lines, or that history, or that future for these men, for these nations, for these people, whoever it might have been. And I'm not just talking about Israel now. I'm talking in general. The Lord has always intervened in history, man. And usually the intervention would come when the angels would intervene. When the Lord would send actual angels to the prophets, that's when an angel was actually, the course of history was going to be changed a little bit. So right here, it displeased Joseph, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. See, man, do you think this was Israel basically got possessed by the Lord? All right. He knew it. He knew what was happening. But for some reason, that right hand went to Ephraim. And that tells you right there, man. He said, I know it. Well, actually, it said it somewhere up here. Yeah, right here. Guiding his hands wittingly. All right. But this is where the Lord intervened again. Because again, you had what was like protocol, proper procedures, I guess you could say. And it wasn't being followed right here when Jacob was blessing Ephraim Manasseh. Again, people don't get it that there's predestination, man. It was set up for this to happen. It was always set up for the so-called white man to give his birthright to Jacob. And whether or not Jacob would have given his blessing away, Jacob would still get the same blessing that we have today, and Esau would have still got the same blessing he has today. All right. It's as simple as that. There's not much you can really say about it, because predestination. What can you say about it, man? Okay. So you got these guys, you got Esau, man, coming out with a hatred. Okay. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it like that. And that's another thing I was going to say, man. Well, real quick, let me read this. Job 20:11. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. This is the thing, man. Esau holding on to that ancient hate that he had because he believes he was done wrong. Everything he's doing now is in vain. All right. Everything that he's running for, all right, is of no consequence, man. All right. There's one. Oh man. Let me see. It's in Job. All right. Let me see. Job 20 something. This is Job. Let me see. Job 27:13 says, well, let me see. Job 27:8. It says, for what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he hath gained, and the Most High taketh away his soul? Because everything that the so-called white man does today is because of that account, going back to Jacob and Esau on the day that Esau lost his birthright. All right, it tells you that Esau, in fact, let me see if I can go to the next chapter. Let me see. It tells you that Esau was bitter as hell about it, man. In so much that he had to comfort himself with the decision that he was going to kill his brother after his father passed away. All right. Let me see. Let me see if I can find like that. Yeah, right here. Genesis 27:41 says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father had blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. Ever since that day, man. All right. Ever since that day, even when we came out of Egypt, when we were in captivity in Egypt, when we came out, we came to Esau's land, and we asked to pass through. And you know what they did? They said no, because Esau through his what do you call him? His through his genealogy, his generations that continued on, that hate that was in Esau transferred into them. And you ever wonder why these Edomites just look at you with disgust, even if they don't even know, they've never seen you a moment in their life, but they just don't like you, right? That's because they have an ancient hate in them. All right, they have an ancient anger, which is why it's driving them mad. Because again, like I'm reading in here, man, they think that by somehow killing off Israel is going to somehow allow them to get the blessing back. And even the Lord has challenged them. Even Yahweh has challenged Esau himself, and is like, if you can figure all this shit out, then I'll do away with Israel. So that's why you got Esau having these telescopes, these rovers, and all this, skyscraper tall antennas in the heavens, because he wants to figure everything out. He thinks that it'll be enough to just identify planets, see the stars, but not actually go in there and discover. That's the problem with Esau, man. Everything that Well, actually, you know what? It tells you in Isaiah, man. Isaiah, the 47th chapter. Let me get it. Like I said, this is everything he's doing now is just in vain. It's of no value, man. Because he had that holding on to that hatred, that amount of hatred like that for that long is very unhealthy. And you see where it's getting Esau, man, to the point it's going to destroy him. Hey, well, the scriptures a double-edged sword, man. It cuts both ways. It cuts the wicked, it cuts the righteous. And if the wicked is being wicked, guess what? Even though the scriptures say, man, that anger lieth in the bosom of a fool, then that it will destroy him, basically. That's Esau, man. Esau is angry with us every single day. He's angry at Jacob being alive every single day. All right? That's why he wants to eradicate us. Okay? Let me get this in Isaiah, the 47th chapter. Isaiah 47. And let me see. I'm going to read this and then I'll read that. Let's see. This is Isaiah 47:10. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it had perverted thee. See, it's driven you mad now, man. You're out there laboring on things that you ain't even supposed to even really be worried about. You out there changing in the ordinances and the covenants, like it says in Isaiah, the 23rd chapter. All right, you out there creating constant lies, forging lies, inventing new lies. All right. And along with that, you got things called devices. All right, which are devices that craft the scheme and trick. So you spend your time laboring and toiling in ways to make the earth and the people worse. All right, that's madness. That's why you were Antiochus Epiphanes, man. Madman. Antiochus Epiphanes was a precursor to who Esau is today in all to his core. An Edomite at his core, all right, is a killer, is a murderer. All right. And that core is enough to overwhelm all logic and reasoning within him because he's angry, man. All right. He wants to kill himself. He wants to kill everybody. And he doesn't care. That's another thing, man. Esau's hatred for Jacob is greater than self-preservation. I've been wanting to make a lesson on that, man. But that's a fact, man. Esau's hatred for Jacob is greater than self-preservation. He don't care that he's going to end up being destroyed by it. Even though he's so proud, he actually thinks he's going to actually have a chance against, Yahweh and Hawashai. But that's the madness that this perverted knowledge, all right, has done to his mind. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it had perverted thee. It's twisted your mind, man. All right, it just continues. You're just decaying every single day. You're getting worse and worse. All right. This is Obadiah 1:10. I think, yeah, there you go. Obadiah 1:10 says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Again, everything you're doing in this time, man, to try to negate or dispute, like you feel like you were done wrong for your blessing, it's going to eventually lead you to your own destruction. In the end, you're not going to get the blessing. You're still not going to get it. Even though you got books like the Talmud that tells you that, that your laws tell you that you're going to live, that don't mean nothing, man. You spent your time, like when a kid doesn't get his way, man, or like he has a brother and his brother gets the bigger ice cream or the bigger ice cream. And here's a little scoop under. So you throw a fucking fit, you throw it away, you try to throw his away. That's basically Esau. Because what did Esau do during the Greek Empire? He burned the books. The book that told him his destination or his destiny, right? He thought by burning the books, it would somehow disannul the promises that the Lord gave Jacob and him. Because the promise, I'm not talking about Esau, just an inheritance in general. All right? So it drove him mad. It's driving him mad to this very day. In fact, let me get another one. This is 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras 16 and 68. It says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you." That's the anger of Esau, man. All right. I'm gonna jump down to verse 71. It says, "They shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord." Because Esau is pissed, man. He's so fucking angry that he did not get that blessing, man. All right. So he's going about his own. Hey, like the scripture say about, Jake and other nations, man. They going about to establish their own righteousness. That's what Esau is doing. All right. But it says in Ezekiel 36 and 5, or 35 and 6, Salakia, "Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sit thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee." And that's exactly what's going to happen, man. Yeah, you're right, man. Esau has spent his entire existence trying to perfect his way of getting the birth. Yeah, there you go. Of getting the birthright back. And like I was making a comment about the Talmud, I know there's like a commandment or a law, I don't know what you would call it, or a grievance decree or something. But one of the things about the Talmud is that Esau has in there that he believes it's justifiable to tell you that he's going to kill you. Yeah, I think I'm saying it right. That he thinks it's justifiable by telling you that he's gonna kill you. But if you don't take heed to it, him still killing you will still make him justified because he told you. That what does that sound like? Ezekiel the 33rd chapter? All right, about how the Lord tells the men of the Lord to go and prophesy and warn the people from him. That way that their blood is off their hands. All right, because if we don't speak this truth, then the people's blood are on our head. So that's. Do you see how Esau twisted, man? Do you see how that perverted knowledge, man? Everything is actually backwards, man. I want to get in on here. Let me see. I want to say it's upside down. Damn. My internet working? All right, there we go. Yeah, right here. Isaiah 29:16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Like you trying to tell the Lord, that's what you're essentially doing, man. You're fighting against the Lord, telling him that what he did was wrong, or that Jacob should not have the blessing and you should. That's basically what you're doing, man. So and that's what I said again. In the end, man, it's all going to be for nothing, anyways. You're going to have to give back up, man. You're going to still have to give everything back up of what you took, and you're going to give it to, man. Let me actually, what? Oh man. Let me see if I can find it, man. It's in Job. I know it's in Job, man. Right here. I'll go ahead and start at the beginning. Job 25 says that Job 24 says, "Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite before a moment?" Because Right now, you doing what you got to do, man. You're satisfying yourself, pacifying your anger by doing all the wickedness that you're doing right now, man. Killing off Jake. Every time you kill a Jake, that's you comforting yourself. All right. It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? And that's how the Lord sees you, man. You're dung. All right. They should say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Because again, everything you're doing, man, ain't going to be it's going to be all for nothing, man. It's vanity. You're fighting a lost battle, man. You've already lost the fight. You just don't know it yet. It's going to take you some time to pick it up. The eye also Salaki, let me slow down. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. See, you're gonna have to give it all back up. You're gonna have to cough. You're gonna have to cough it all back up, man. All right. It says, his bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. All that anger you held on for what? For what? You're going to be put down on the ground with it, man. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, constantly lying, man. Though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of asps within him. He have swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. This is the one I wanted. Again, he have swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. You're going to have to give everything back up. And I can't wait to get to this one. Everything, man. All that you labored for will have been for nothing. Because at the end of the day, the Lord's going to restore everything back to its original state. Even better. Perfect in righteousness. And where are you going to be found, man? All right? You're going to be like a vapor that is into the sky, man. It says, he shall suck the poison of asps. The viper's tongue shall slay him. You're going to kill you. You're going to end up killing your own self, man. It says, he shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. That which he labored for shall he restore. And that's it, because that which he labored for shall he restore. That's self-explanatory. Everything you did, man, to try and disannul the Lord's purposes, all right, or his promises that he had. Let me see. Frustrated. What is that? How does it go? Frustrate. Let me get this real quick before I finish. How do you? Frustrated, possibly. Frustrated. Yeah, there you go. Isaiah 44:25. That frustrated the tokens of liars and maketh diviners mad. That turneth wise men backward and maketh their knowledge full. Like everything you're doing, man, is only driving you to a pit, and it's being stopped by the Most High. All right. And because at the end of it all, man, again, it will just have been for nothing. I keep reiterating that because, again, man, everything Esau is doing is for nothing. You held on to an unhealthy hatred, man. All right, why can't you just accept that you gave away your birthright? Because what, you weren't accepted afterward? I just read it in Who's Who in the Bible. All right. It said, what did it say? You're just mad, man. Like, because you're not chosen. That's all. There's nothing you can do about that. It said that Paul cites Esau in Romans 9 as an example of those not elected by God. Guess what, man? The Lord did tell you that you could have been chosen. You could have, even though Jacob received the blessing or got the blessing, there was still room for you to get right. But the Lord already knew through predestination, man, that you weren't going to get yourself in order. All right. Because he even said, what did he say? Let me see. Shall that not be accepted? Be accepted. So Genesis, the 4th chapter, I believe. Genesis 4:7 said, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? You could have done good. All right. It says, and if thou doest not well, sin lie at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over. See, you took rebuke, or you took an exhortation, and you decided to do exactly what the Lord told you not to do, because you were set up to do that. Because again, you were set up to be the wicked. You were set up to be the anointed cherub that covereth. You were anointed and chosen, because actually you were chosen in a way. Because the word anointed is just another word for chosen. You were just chosen to not be the righteous, you know. And instead, you became the epitome of evil, you know. So the consequence for that, man, is that if Job 28:18 says that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice then. So the scriptures tell us, man, that Esau is going to be rewarded double. He's going to have to pay double, all right, because of everything he's done. So all the hatred you held on to and all the evil that you committed, you're going to have to repay that back double. Verse 19 says, because he had oppressed and had forsaken the poor, because he had violently taken away an house which he built not, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High, when you think you've won, right? The Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain upon him while he is eating. This is when the Lord is going to cast that fury, because this is when you believe your belly will have been full. When you push this chip, all right? When you think that you've gained all world power, all right, you've become the God. That's when the Lord is going to draw out that iron weapon and that bow of steel that will strike you through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his goal. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him, which is these nukes, these ICBM missiles. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from Yahweh, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. It was already predestinated that you were going to receive this outcome, man. Because right here, you were wicked, you were evil, man. You were just out there being lewd and dissolute. You disregarded everything the Lord told you to not do, man. So for that, you're going to pay. Simple as that. So this whole lesson was just to prove, though, man, that like Esau's blessing was never stolen, man. It was already set up for you to give it away. Your anger that you're now projecting upon Israel, the wrath that you're having to try to eliminate them as a people so you can get your blessing back, it's not going to happen, because Israel has already been given the promise, all right? They've already been, Yahweh's already sworn by his name that we're going to receive this blessing, all right? And there's nothing you can do about it. So that's really what I wanted to just go over. You know, again, everything Esau's doing, man, is for nothing. Jacob is going to prosper. And actually, you know what? I'll get that real quick. All right. Let me get it. Psalms 89. This is Psalms 89 and 29. It says, his seed also will I make to endure forever. Meaning we're going to be living here forever, man. All right. The seed of Israel, all right, ultimately is going to be here forever. All right. And it goes down to verse 34. My covenant will I not break. So it's already been promised. Again, like I said, the Lord has already sworn that he's going to perform the thoughts and the purpose that he already had, which was to put Yasharallah at the top, and Esau was going to be done away with. All right. But again, my covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that has gone out of my lips. Once have I sworn by my holiness that I will not lie unto David. And David represents the elect as well, man. And then the whole nation under him, which is Israel. And it's saying his seed shall endure forever, and his throne as the sun before me. It shall be established forever as the moon, and as a faithful witness in heaven, Selah. So, hey, man, like I've said 1,000 times already, man, Esau's lost. All right? No matter what you do, no matter what you try to get, no matter what you try to frustrate, all right, it's all in vain. You're gonna have to vomit it all back up. All right. Let me see. Job 20:15 says, he has swallowed down riches and he shall vomit them up again. Just plain and self-explanatory. The Most High shall cast him out of his belly, man. The Lord's actually going to have to take you. He's going to have to take everything from you. All right. Yeah, you're going to restore everything, man. But the Lord's going to do it by force. You know what? You know what? Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Shoot. I know there's a scripture where it talks about thus by violence, you're going to have to give everything back up because you have put out violence. Shoot. I can't find it right now. Salakia, man. But that was just basically what I was trying to say on that, man. By violence. Oh, man. What? Oh, man. I think is in Revelations. Revelations talks about it. Oh, man. Let me see. Oh, man, I can't remember which one it is. Oh, you know what? Let me see right here. Revelations. This is not it, but Revelations 18 and 6 says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled to her double. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. So it's synonymous to violence, man. The Lord's going to have to come back in a violent way. That's why the scriptures say, man, that the Lord's not going to meet Esau as a man. All right. He already did that once, man. He tried to talk to the powers, all right, the paramount powers at the time that when he came here, and they didn't listen. In fact, you had the kings sent out men on a mission to try to find where Yahushua was born so that he could kill him. But what did he do? What did Esau do? Just like this whole premise of the lesson was about. He lied. Herod lied to the men and was like, no, man, I want to come and, worship the man that's supposed to be the king. But it said that he actually killed every infant child 2 and under. That's some real devilish shit. That's an Edomite for you, like I said, at its core. All right. That's a real Edomite at its core, man, because Herod at that time was not he was not a black man, even though he looked black, but he was an Edomite. Same thing they did up here with Barack Obama. Barack Obama wasn't black. He was a Hamite. All right. So for all this that you've done, all right, it says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled to her double. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow would give her. For she has said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. You also wanted to consider yourself not guilty for the things that you did. All right. You wanted to act like everything you're doing has no consequence. Again, like that woman, Nina Turner, I believe. She said to that Edomite woman, which you could tell that woman, man, was a damn devil, man. The Edomite woman she was speaking to, man, had a smile on her face and was acting kind of casual, like another what do you call it? Another conspiracy theorist. But Nina Turner hopped on her ass, man, and said, you're acting cavalier about it, man. And when you look up a cavalier attitude, it's just basically nonchalant, comfortable and disregarding and dismissing actual true facts. But that's That's like, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, this whole place is about to feel what's coming, man, for all these lies, man. All the lies that Esau created, all the negative vibration he tried to use to demonize the scriptures so that people couldn't find out that he wasn't chosen. It's all going to be paid back in the end, man. All right. And there's another scripture I want to get. Another scripture. This is Ezekiel 35:9. It says, "And I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return. And you shall know that I am the Lord, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we shall possess it, whereas the Lord was there." Like, you try going around establishing your own way, all right, trying to do away with the children of Israel, trying to enslave them. All right, you actually believe Israel is a lust or a luscious, vast commodity of slave labor, you know? But the Lord was there. The Lord was watching, because there's a time appointed when he's going to intervene, just like this whole lesson was about, man. Yahweh Shai is going to intervene again and set things back on course the way that he originally planned it to be, which is predestination. And he's predestinated Israel to endure forever, as I read in Psalms, the 89th chapter. He's going to endure forever. Endure means to make harder to make it through, but it also means that it's a substance that's going to be there forever. Israel is going to live forever, man, and Esau is not. Plain and simple. And we're reading the outcome of Esau right here. "Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used of thy hatred against them." Come on, man. I'm going to read that again. "Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will even do according to thine anger." And for whoever just came into view, I was talking about earlier that the ancient hate that Esau has held on to, it's all for nothing. All right. But Esau's doing everything according to his own anger. That's why he's like a madman. That's why this knowledge that's perverted him is causing him to do what he's doing. So the Lord is saying, I will even do according to thine anger. So you want to be like that? I'm going to judge you according to your ways. That's what an indignation is. When you look up the word indignation, it goes into a judgment made out of anger, but it's actually a right judgment. That's the thing, righteous anger. All right. So it even tells you, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. Who's them? The nation of Israel, Judah and Israel. It says, "And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume." It says, "Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me, and I have heard them. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance at the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate." So again, you're predestinated, man, to lose in the end. And the Lord's going to reestablish Israel. It says, "So will I do unto thee, thou shalt be desolate. O Mount Seir and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord." All right. And so there's one other one I want to get. Oh man, it's leaving my mind. I got it. Let me get it. I hope I spelled it right. Oppressed. Is that how you spell oppressed? It's in Jeremiah, I believe. Yeah, Jeremiah 50 and 33 says, well, actually, you can see who it's talking about, right? Who is the most proud? Esau, all right? Jeremiah 50 and 33 says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah will oppress together." It sounds like we were just reading Ezekiel, right? "And all that took them captives held them fast." Who was that? Esau, the so-called white man, because we just read in Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. All right. Ezekiel 35 and 12 says that they are laid desolate. They are given us to consume. That sounds exactly what you're saying right here, man. All right. You took them captives and you held them fast. You refused to let them go. But it says their Redeemer is strong, The Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. That we know that we're under the so-called white man right now, under oppression in Babylon. All right, there's another name given to America, well, Babylon. It was actually considered a nickname, called the land of Marathayam, which the land of Marathayam, which is Babylon, America, aka now today, it means double rebellion and double bitterness. We know our condition here under the so-called white man being a captive is bitter as hell. Okay? It says, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon the wise men. A sword is upon the liars. That's you, man. That's the so-called white man. And they shall dote. You're going to be confounded in the end, man. And again, going back to Job, the 20th chapter, you're going to have to give it all back up. Because the Lord's going to, like I said a minute ago, the Lord's going to have to do everything by violence. The Lord's not going to meet you as a man. He's going to devour and slay you. And you're going to have to restore everything back up. Okay? Let me get that back. Restitution. I think that's how you spell it. Slacker for restitution. Oh, come on, man. Just bear with me, man. This literally never happens. Job 20 and 18. That which he lay before shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be. And it's going to be double. All right? And he shall not rejoice therein. So there's the proof on that. So at the end of the day, man, the Lord's going to judge Esau. The Lord is going to keep that indignation that he already foretold Esau and the whole world that he already had on Esau, that indignation that he held on forever. All right? At the end of the day, man, there's nothing you can do about it. All right? Yeah. At the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it, man. Esau's going to be destroyed. Jacob's not. And I'm going to read this for you. Obadiah 1:18. In the house of Jacob shall be a fire enduring forever, right? Like I said in Psalms 89 chapter. The house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. All right? We're going to walk over you, man, over your ashes. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken. I should have got that one. Hey, the water, man. There you go. That's perfect. That's a perfect way to end this lesson as well, man. I mean, there's nothing much else to say, man. Esau's going to be destroyed because he didn't inherit the blessing to be immortal. All right, we did. Jacob did. So, not much left else to say, man. All right, predestination is real. Esau knows it. That's why he does what he does today, because he's trying to fight against it. So, with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. All right. Peace, much love, honors, and blessings to the elect for retaining your integrity, always abounding in the work and truth of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, stand strong, Akim. But until the next lesson, when I say Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Brakatham, Kwame Shalom.